Good morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. Today is Wednesday, September the 29th, 2021. Wednesday, still the 26th week of the year, but today we make another great turn in our liturgical calendar. Today is the feast of the archangels, Michael, Raphael, and Gabriel. There's also Ariel, one of the other archangels, but he, she, the sex of that angel has never actually been determined. Is sometimes included, sometimes is not. There's stray reference to Ariel in one of the Old Testament books, I forget which. But there should be 4 archangels, but we really only know 3. So Michael, Raphael, and Gabriel, archangels today. Guardian angels is October the 2nd, so we don't do all the angels today, we just do the archangels today. In the Diocese of Raleigh, we have churches named for each of the 3 archangels. Ariel, again, gets short shrift. But we have 3 churches named for them throughout the diocese. And so we celebrate the angels and what the angels do and who the angels are, which, again, as Scripture will show us, may not always be what we have conjectured or have imagined them to be. Coming to you, though, this morning, we'll go this way over here, from the inside of our church. And why? Well, because today is a Wednesday, so it is school Mass Day. It is our community Mass for the Franciscan school. And so we will have our 5th grade through 8th grade here in the school today as we continue to divide the school in half because of the pandemic restrictions that have been imposed upon us. So we will have the middle school and 5th grade here in a couple of minutes to celebrate community Mass. The readings for today, there is a choice. There are only 2, first reading and a gospel, but there's a choice of first readings, which is very interesting because rarely do you get a choice of first readings in the lectionary. Today's choices, though, are Daniel, in which Daniel foresees the coming of the Son of Man, basically the coming of the Messiah, the coming of the one who will make everything right, who will bring justice and harmony back to a world that is in disarray, that a world that is divided. Not necessarily any mention of angels in this reading, but the one who looks like an angel, perhaps, or comes as a messenger, but comes bearing healing in his wings, comes with the answers to those questions and to those desires that we as human beings possess in our hearts. Part of the great prophecy of Daniel in the Old Testament. The second choice of the first reading is from the New Testament, and it's the book of Revelation. And it's the book of Revelation which talks about the great battle in heaven where Michael the archangel defeats Satan and his angels. Now, many times, this is where we get our understanding of the angels themselves, and especially if Michael the Archangel, and many people who possess the name Michael the Archangel, take it very proudly because of this great battle that was supposed to happen at the beginning of time. Now, that's something to remember. Again, if we look at John Milton and that unfortunate 16th century or 17th century writer in his own angst or whatever it is, who basically tries to chronicleize in a kind of novelistic form this great battle in which Satan and his angels are thrown out of heaven because Michael dares to stand up for God and dares to defeat, Satan and his angels. That is not necessarily what Revelation is pointing at, because remember, Revelation is about things to be revealed, not things that have come to pass. And so what Revelation is actually looking at is a future. And so if there still is a battle of heaven and angels and demons are battling themselves in heaven in the future, then we have to wonder what's going on. Who's in control? Has God lost control? Is everything out of whack? Again, Revelation is meant to inspire and to give hope to a people under persecution. And sometimes the fantastical imagery and language that is used in this book kind of leads us in that way, leads us in that understanding, but the sense always of bringing strength and hope to Christians who are trying desperately to hold on to strength and hope in their lives. So the second choice in Revelation may not be the best choice to use as the first reading today, even though it conjures up most of our images of what angels do and who angels are. It's even made more complex because the gospel for today on the Feast of the Archangels has really nothing to do with angels at all. It's about Nathanael. And Nathanael, who Jesus calls because he sees him laying under a fig tree. And Nathanael incredulously says, "How do you know my name?" And Jesus, says, "Because I know all things." And Nathanael decides to follow him because Jesus, knows his name before he tells him, probably looking for a magic trick or something like that. And, and Jesus says to Nathanael, it's not just about magic. It's about seeing glory and wonder. And this is where Jesus mentions angels coming and going, around the Son of Man and things like that. Nothing more about angels than that. But what Jesus tells Nathanael, again, is something for us to kind of think about and reflect upon. Too many times, again, we look at angels as sort of being even more important than God, and even more important than the wonder and the majesty and all those great things that God can offer us. We look to angels because they seem more accessible. We look to angels because they seem more readily available to us, when actually God is the one who is accessible. God is the one who is readily available. God is the one who leads us and guides us and heals our wounds, builds us up, and allows us to have life to its fullest. If the angels exist, as the angels exist, and what the angels can do is basically help us to recognize that, help us to be moved in that kind of direction. But no more than that, no more than that. God is the one who makes all things possible. God is the one who brings life where there is none. God is the one who brings hope where there is despair. God is the one who brings truth in the midst of lies and deceptions. And may the Lord give us his peace.